Hey guys, it's Kristen. I'm back again, and today I am armed with my 5 favorite book series and then a couple that almost made the list but didn't quite make it. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so I have picked out my 5 favorite book series, and I'm going to start with 5 and go down to my favorite. The ironic thing is, I don't think I have the full series of any of them except for my favorite, and right now I don't even have the whole series because I loaned the first one out to a friend of mine's son, so I don't actually think I have all of them with me today, but that's okay. I'm still going to share them with you. And one thing me and my husband have been talking about is really going back through and trying to get all of the series on our bookshelves completed. So that's something we're working on currently. So I'm going to start with number 5, and number 5 is one of my favorites from my childhood. I've loved to read since I was little, and I had read the first of this series, and then my dad took my sister and I on a trip to the beach, and we found this like little nook bookstore, this used bookstore, and they had the whole series there, and he just bought me all of them, and I just remember being so excited. And I've read most of the series more than once. I have not read them as an adult, and it's one thing that I would like to do, but I honestly, like, there's been so many renditions and movies and TV shows of the first one, like, I have half a mind just to, like, skip the first one and just move on to the second one, because I've tried to pick up the first one so many times, and I haven't been able to do it again. So, and I don't know if that's because, like, I'm just so familiar with the story that it's not capturing me anymore. I don't know. So, if I do go back and read the series, it probably will be me starting with the second book and not with the first book. But it is the Anne of Green Gables series, and I have legit had these books, and you can pretty much tell from, like, the first one that I have had these books since I was a kid. I think I was 12, 13 when I got the series, and I'm 30 now, so they have been with me through countless moves from Hawaii back and just everywhere with me. And so, like I said, I would love to, like, reread these. I highly suggest that, like, young girls read this series. There were a lot of life lessons in them, and, I mean, it's been a really long time since I've read them, but they are always embedded in my heart, and I love this series. So, this will be one that my daughter will read, or I will read to my daughter. My sister actually got me, for my daughter, the most beautiful, like, version of the book, and we're gonna read it together, and the chapters aren't really all that long, so I think she could get into it now. So, we do need to start reading this, but isn't that beautiful? It's just gorgeous. But, yep. Okay, so my fourth. So we're at 5. So number 4 is Holly Black's The Cruel Prince series, and I actually only have The Queen of Nothing, which is the last one, which was, like, beyond epic. My husband actually got me this one for my birthday? Can't remember. I think he got it for my birthday or Christmas. I don't know. One or the other. Right when it came out, he got it for me because he knew I'd been wanting it. I absolutely love Holly Black's books, and this series was, like, flippin' amazing. If you are really into fantasy and fairies and that kind of thing, this series is so for you. I even have, like, the book bow, the Holly Black one. You know, I'm, like, in love with Holly Black. So, The Cruel Prince, like I said, I only have the third one, which is The Queen of Nothing, but love these books. So, number 3, I only have the first 2 of this series. I'm going to go on and lump the second series in with the first and just say the whole thing is in my favorites. That is Fablehaven. Oh, I cannot say enough about this series. Like, I really, really cannot say enough. I forget how many there are in the actual Fablehaven series, but then there's the Fablehaven series, and then there's a spin-off called Dragon Watch, and that series is pretty much a continuance of this one. But so good. I have read Fablehaven a couple of times. The first one, I've read this one a couple of times. But this is another series I can't wait for my daughter to get into. But Brandon Mole is amazing, and I have started a couple of his other series, but this one, and then the one that comes after it, Dragon Watch, epic. This one has everything to do with magic, every single type of magical being, magical creature that you can think of. It starts off it is based in our world, and this is for, I would say, a younger middle school crowd, maybe early high school. I'm super into that stuff. I'm a teacher. I like reading what my kids are reading, but I think adults can get into this as well. And definitely one to introduce your kids to fantasy. I would suggest this is a good starter for introducing them to fantasy. Okay, number 2 is, besides my number 1, I can't get enough of this series, and if I could choose, a fantasy land or bookland or whatever to just jump into, this would be right near the very top, because, this series captured me, so completely, and that is, the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I only have Finale. I actually have 2 of these, because this past summer, right before we left for a trip, I bought Finale, and then when we went on the trip, my husband and I, we find bookstores wherever we go. We were in Florida, and I found a signed copy of this one, and so, even though I had just bought it, bought it again. So I actually have 2 of these, but the Caraval series, I can't say enough good things about it. I don't want to give anything away, but the first book is told from the perspective of one sister, and the second book is told from the perspective of the other sister, and then the third book is from a bunch of different perspectives. But especially Caraval, I thought that I knew what was happening, and then I was like, no, I changed my mind, and then I was like, no, I go back, and now I changed my mind again, and now I changed my mind again, and the end was such a big cliffhanger. I was like, I have to go buy the next book right now, or I have to go get the next book right now. I even made my husband start reading it, and bugged him the whole time, do you know what's happening? What's your guesses? And then at the end, when he thought he had figured out who Legend was, which is one of the main characters or the main person throughout the Caraval series, he wrote it in a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and gave it to me. He's like, here's my guess, and at the very end you can open it and we'll see if I got it right. And he was right. And but so into them. My husband is he's a fantasy buff too, but he likes more adult fantasy. He's a huge Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson fan. So but he really enjoyed this one as well. And then I feel like it would be hypocrisy just to not put this as my number 1, because this will forever be my number 1. Forever and always. And if you know me, you already know what my number 1 series is. But that would be, and I can't even pick them all up. That's the sad thing. That would be, I'm trying to pick them up for you. Harry Potter. Again, I don't have the first one on me right now because my friend's son needed it for class, and so I let her borrow it. But Harry Potter, of course. This series I started when I was probably 6th, 7th grade, and as they came out, I was there at the midnight releases, and same thing for all the movies, even up into college for the last movie. Got off of work, went straight to the premiere of the last movie, and I love everything Harry Potter. Been to Harry Potter, like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter 3 times. I don't love many other things more than I love Harry Potter, family aside. But you will probably notice that as you watch my videos throughout, and obviously the name of this channel has to do with Harry Potter, so Harry Potter is my #1 ultimate favorite series ever, and forever will be. There will probably never, ever, ever come another series that will ever capture my heart the way Harry Potter has. So that is my #1, and totally leave me comments below if you're also a complete Harry Potter nerd, and what house you are, 'cause Ravenclaw represent. Alright, so those are my 5 favorites. So recap, number 5 was Anne of Green Gables. Number 4 was the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. 3 is the Fablehaven and the Dragon Watch series by Brandon Mull. 2 was the Caraval, and number 1 was Harry Potter. And now 2 series that so almost made the list, but not quite. Okay, if you have not read the Arc of the Scythe series trilogy, totally go get it now. This is one of my husband's favorites, and mine as well. He's the one who got me into it. We only have the last one, which is also a signed copy. We can't help ourselves. Very, very good. I love the backstory. I love the storyline of this. I love how the author just imagines the future and imagines what can happen, and it's kind of freaky. Like, you're like, I could see things going this way. This is kind of creepy, but very, very good series. And then another series that is dear to my heart and that almost made it, and this one is on a completely different plane than the rest of them, I guess. It's not fantasy. I don't read a lot of adult, but this is obviously very adult. I don't have the middle one, but Me Before You. And I will confess that I did watch the movie before I read this book, and it did not diminish the book for me at all. I loved it. I cried. I really thoroughly enjoyed the series, and if you like romance and if you like more adult books, this one I would suggest for you. It does have triggers, especially the first one. Definitely has triggers. I know it sparked a lot of controversy with a lot of people, especially a lot of people in the church and things like that. So I totally get that, and a lot of people's reasoning for not reading it. I totally get that. And if you have had anybody who's committed suicide or has had has been terminally ill or has had an injury or something like that, maybe this book is not for you, because like I said, it does have triggers for things like that. But I enjoyed it. I completely captured by the story and the stories after, and I really enjoyed going on that journey with the main character. So that's another one that I would suggest, especially if you aren't into all the young adult fantasy stuff that I'm into. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe if you haven't started a series and you're looking for a series to get into, maybe you'll pick up one of these. And let me know below some of your favorite series. I would love to hear them, and I'm actually trying to get into some longer series. So if you have any suggestions for longer series like Harry Potter, I would love to hear your suggestions, because I do want to find a longer series. Most of the ones I've been reading here lately are 2-3 books, but Harry Potter and Fablehaven are both really long, and I would love to just really get captured in a world again like that. So if you have any suggestions, please put them below. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.